Hi, I'm Nicolas. I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer for DEI Directive, as well as a co-founder. One thing that I have learned throughout my journey, especially in the tech sector, as well as in the legal sector, is that it is not easy. And the other thing that I have learned is that women, especially Black women and other women of color, are broken. I recently received an award for New Hampshire Business Review, Outstanding Women of the Year 2023. If you had asked me 2, 3 years ago if I would ever envision myself receiving such an award, I would have thought you were joking. You possibly can't be serious. Me get an award? Like, for what? Why? Self-doubt is real. Some people call it imposter syndrome. But are we really imposters? What it is a lack of knowing your self-worth, a lack of knowing your self-value, and also something that I think is extremely detrimental, which is when you relinquish your power to others and give them your power, the power to control who you are, the power to really understand your value and your worth. It's detrimental when you relinquish that power. Growing up, I just thought you work hard, you go to school, then you'll have a great career. You'll have doors open for you. But the reality is that the doors do not open for everyone. I put myself through law school working in a call center, a Comcast call center. When I started, I was making probably around $12. By the time I finished, I was making about $15. This is someone who had a college degree from a pretty notable college, but I was in a call center, putting myself through law school. But that's what I had to do. It was not easy. I had to work full time. And then I would go to law school at night, full time. The stress, oh my goodness, the pressure, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I thought, you know what? Push through, keep going. That when you graduate law school and you pass the bar, the doors will be opening left and right. Like I will be probably rejecting offers left and right. But that wasn't the reality. The reality was I applied to so many law firms, and some of the feedback was, well, lack of experience. But how do you gain experience when you are not given the opportunity? I eventually found a role in a small law office that was willing to give me a chance and really provide me with the freedom to explore and learn various areas of the legal world. But even then, it was a challenge. Sometimes clients would doubt my capabilities and my qualifications. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Are you sure? Or maybe you go to court and they think you're the defendant versus the client. What it does is it creates that self-doubt. You start feeling insecure. You start feeling, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe this is above my intellectual capabilities. That's how it starts. That's how it starts when you start dimming your light it starts by just continuously hearing the naysayers. And then you take that in and you now take it and soak it all in. After a while of being in the legal industry and just not having the opportunities come my way and doors open, I decided to use what I had learned and go into the tech sector. I thought for sure, with my experience with real estate and bankruptcy, negotiating contracts, that this will pave my way for having a successful career in the corporate world. Boy, was I naive. I was naive. I went in again thinking, I'm just going to work hard. I am going to show them. I am going to prove to them what I am worth and what I can do. And I worked hard. I worked extra. I worked on weekends. I entered into the telecom world with little to no experience in terms of that industry. But I was determined to learn everything that I could. Now, the tech industry and the legal industry, when it comes to women, we are the minority. Our numbers are low. But then when you really kind of factor it even further down, when it comes to women of color, especially me as a Black woman in the legal industry and the tech industries, we make up less than 5%. So when we are given opportunities, we really hold on to them strongly and we do everything we can to really show our worth. But what I didn't realize was the uphill battle. I did everything. I call it the moving target, right? You go in, you do everything they tell you to do, thinking that that's going to land me the promotion. That's going to land me the pay increase, the recognition. You hit the mark. Then all of a sudden it's, well, yeah, great job. You did it. But now we want you to do X, Y, and Z. Now the target moves. Now there's a new goal. Because the reality is they never expected you to actually achieve the first goal. So now you're like, okay, I can do this. This is what's going to get me that promotion. This is what's going to get me the extra pay, the recognition. You hit that second goal. But then the target moves. And then it starts becoming, wait a minute, I hit the first target. I hit the second target. Now there's a third target. The targets keep moving. Because again, the expectation is not that you actually succeed. The expectation is we're going to make this so challenging that there's no way she can complete this challenge. But they underestimated my abilities. And you know what? I got to a point where even I underestimated my abilities. I recently watched a video on TikTok, and it was this young Black man who had been a football player. And he said, as a football player, he could take anything, being hit. He could take being told he wasn't fast enough. He can take being told he wasn't good enough. Meant nothing to him. It wasn't until he got into the corporate world where he started getting told essentially the same things. And it broke him. It broke him. The corporate world and the culture broke me. I started noticing other women, and they were just in the same position. And it wasn't for a lack of capabilities. but it was a lack of opportunities. And when you look at that org chart and everybody looks the same, there's a lack of representation. It is demoralizing. So, what am I working hard for? What am I working hard to try to achieve? Because every single time I feel like I've done something successful, the target moves. The target moves and you become broken. You start doubting everything, your capabilities, your worth, your intellect. It's demoralizing. You start feeling like you are not worth the opportunities. You are not worth that six-figure salary. You are not worth the promotions. You are not worth being on that org chart in the C-suite. I stayed for 7.5 years. 7.5 years chasing the moving target. And then COVID hit. And I somehow woke up. And then the civil unrest happened. And I'm starting to see a lot of women who are now just somehow speaking up, tired. And during that time, a lot of companies made statements for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I thought, okay, this might be my opportunity. My company's making the statements, they're invested. This is my time to shine. But the reality is, and what we see now as we're seeing more tech layoffs, is the DI budgets getting slashed. And we're seeing the groups that are being impacted the most with the tech layoffs, which is women, women of color. We are now seeing opportunities, especially in the tech industry, disappearing. But one thing that happened during COVID was also the Great Resignation. A lot of people saying, I've had enough. A lot of people becoming self-aware of the need for the work-life balance, the need for being part of an organization that truly values who they are, that truly values their worth, that truly recognizes what they bring to the table. An organization that is willing to give you a seat at the table. I can't tell you how many times I've heard the women anthem of, hey, if they don't give you a seat at the table, you bring the folding chair. But why? Folding chair is not comfortable. Why settle for less? And the folding chair doesn't necessarily guarantee you that you are right at the table. What you're essentially saying is, I'm just going to be in the room, somewhere in the back, sitting on my folding chair. But that was not good enough for me anymore. It was not good enough for me anymore. So I started applying to other roles internally, started looking for ways to get promoted, be paid my worth. Because at this point, I'm starting to question, like, why am I accepting less than? I am educated. I put myself through law school. I have a Juris Doctorate. My goodness, I am educated. But why am I tolerating to be treated than less than? I did everything that I could to get promoted, and that didn't happen. So I had a choice to make, a difficult choice. Do I stay and continue to chase the moving target? Or do I finally stand up for myself? Do I finally go out there and get what I deserve? Honestly, without a backup plan, I made that hard decision. I decided enough was enough. I decided that, you know what? If there are no opportunities for me here, I will go find those opportunities somewhere else. If they're not going to open the doors for me internally in my organizations, I will go find other organizations that will open doors for me. But then the harsh reality hit me, interviewing to various organizations and rejection after rejection after rejection. And I'm like, oh my God, did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake leaving my organization? Maybe they were right. I'm struggling to find work. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Then started sharing my story on LinkedIn and started hearing from other women, and it became a Me Too. Women from all over the world struggling to find work. Women who are highly educated, PhDs, 2 master degrees, Juris Doctor degrees, struggling to find work. It was no longer embarrassing. For me, it became a why? What's going on? What is going on that women, especially women of color, struggle to find work? We already struggle in the corporate world. We struggle to have roles in the C-suite. We struggle to have roles in the C-suite. If you look up the statistics for Fortune 500 companies and you look up how many women, Black women, are CEOs, it's probably less than 10. No, not 10,000, not 10 million. 10 total. 10 women is unacceptable. So what happened? I had to pivot. I got tired of interviewing and getting rejected. Mentally, I went from one nightmare to another. But at some point, as I'm searching, I met 2 women on LinkedIn, Lisa Lang, Laura Frederick, who are now my mentors. 2 women who saw what I was going through and somehow just reached out, connected with me, and really helped me to build myself back up. The corporate world tore me down, almost like a vampire, just sucked my blood, but more like sucked the life out of me. Laura Frederick offered me a role in her company as Chief Growth Officer, got my C-suite position that other people thought I wasn't good enough for. But she said, you are good enough. You are qualified. You are more qualified, more creative than you think. But the damage had been done at this point, right? Now I had to figure out how to ignite the power within me, how to unleash that inner warrior, how to see what she saw in me that I couldn't see, because I was still stuck on the rejections. I was still letting those rejections eat at me. It wasn't until I kind of went on a, what I call a revenge tour. Call it, I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them what they missed out on. And I started really working hard. And at this time, Laura is telling me, hey, you don't have to work for anyone else. You can just create your own. Create my own. I was terrified. You mean be a business owner, be an entrepreneur? Oh my gosh. I don't want to be broke. I want a steady paycheck. But then I saw her. She was an entrepreneur. and she was slaying. And she made me believe in myself because she believed in me. And she said, you can do it. And so did my friend Lisa Lang too, said, Flo, you can do it. And anytime there was any opportunities, whether it was a speaking engagement or a role, these two women would send those opportunities to me. And from there, I saw the power of women empowering women, women helping women by helping them realize the power that we have, the control we have over who we are, who we choose to be, and not let the naysayers doubt us. The biggest thing that I would like to really make sure you understand is that you are in more control than you think. You have to understand that we are going to face rejection. We are going to face failure. But we can choose to make that a barrier, a challenge, or a roadblock. When I chose to believe in myself, see my value, and see my self-worth, when I chose to show up and own who I am, be my true authentic self, and demand my worth, that is when things change for me. That is when I unleashed and unlocked my power, my inner warrior and gladiator. That is when I fully started to comprehend the power that I had in me that I now use to mentor and help other women. Remember that rejection and failure are normal, but they are not roadblocks. They are not roadblocks. So continue to fight for who you want to be, because the possibilities are endless. You just have to believe in yourself, and then you will slay. I guarantee that. You will slay. I thank you for the opportunity to listen to me. Please continue to unleash the power within you. Do not give anyone the control to dim your inner warrior, your inner fire.
Woo! We have so much to unpack here and only 5 minutes to do it. So, Flo, can you hear me, Mama? Hi, beautiful.
Hey guys, how are you today?
So good. So, so, so good. Listen, I'm gonna let folks get to it. Ahira has her hand up, Flo, so I'm gonna let her come to stage and ask her question. Ahira,
Sure.
you have the mic.
Hey, ladies. First of all,
Hi.
Flo, hi, sweetie. Listen, I don't have a question. I'm giving you your roses and your flowers because if you knew what this chat was doing while you were talking, I'm doing my best to hold my tears back because
Oh,
everything that you have said to me and a lot of other women have impacted us so much. And I thank you for being another voice
oh,
for
you're gonna
us to speak
make me
out
cry.
loud because right now I'm telling you, I am going through trauma at my last job to the
Oh
point
yeah.
where I had to take medical leave because that's how
Yeah.
bad it was for me. And I'm so thankful to you to remind me again that what I am doing is worth still being present. So thank you so much, my sister.
Oh,
I
you're
am
welcome.
tears are flowing. But listen, you
Oh,
set a blaze. You ignite the fire, be darned. You literally set a blaze
oh,
for each and every one of us. Thank you so much, my sister. That was it.
oh,
That was
thank
it.
you. Thank you. I really needed that this morning.
Ashe. Thank you, Ahira. So
Ashe.
good. So good. I'm gonna keep them coming, Flo. So I'm gonna show a question on the stage. This one is from Alexis Miller. She says, Miss Flo, are you
I'm
talking?
low
Are you
maintenance.
talking mentees? I'm low maintenance. I just need a monthly check-in. Smiley
Right.
face.
Yes, I do. And this is the perfect time. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn and we'll schedule something.
Okay.
Right now I'm mentoring a young lady, but I do have the bandwidth. So anything I can do to help, please let me know.
Ashay. So good. Big ups to you, Alexis, for asking for what you need, mama. All right.
Exactly.
I'm going to show Amber Hertz question on stage flow. She asks, how did you gain your confidence and what keeps you motivated?
Yeah, gaining the confidence. And so here's one thing I want to make clear, right? You gain your confidence, but then you also have to maintain the confidence, right? It's not a light switch you turn on and it's just, that's it. You're done, right? There are still moments. I'm going to be real. There's still moments I show up in rooms and I'm just like, anxiety kicks in. I'm nervous. I'm like, do I belong in this room? But it's all about reaffirmation, right? It's all about, I really literally have to speak to myself and just say, girl, you can do this. Girl, you're a badass. Girl, you got this. And remind myself of the wins. Even if the win is small, hey, I woke up, I got out of bed and I got one thing accomplished. That's a win, right? We're so designed to treat wins as something grandiose and major. I just made $1 million or whatever. But it's the small things that matter. Maybe you got one customer and you got them under contract. That's a win. Take this time to celebrate those wins. But you also have to talk to yourself. You've got to continuously applaud yourself. You've got to be the biggest cheerleader for yourself. But the biggest thing about confidence booster is surround yourself with women who are your biggest cheerleaders, right? I didn't know I had toxic friends, that would be like, oh, why you want to do that? Oh, you think that's going to work? Do you even know how to do that? Very discouraging. So I was like, you know what? Here's the thing that I've learned. We grow and we adapt and we change, right? We go on that journey, but not everybody goes on that journey with us. So you've got to learn to make sure that you are taking people on this journey with you that are really invested in seeing you win. Now, I'm not saying get friends that are just like, oh, you're so awesome. Everything is great. No, you want friends who are genuine. They will check you when they need to, but they do it with love. Like, let's talk about this flow. Do you really think that's a great idea? Let's strategize together. That type of friendship. And that is what helps me continue to maintain my confidence on a daily basis.
So good. And Flo, we really have to go to the next session, but if you can do a 30-second answer on this one, this is the last one, y'all. This one comes from Crystal, and she says, you mentioned sharing your story on LinkedIn, helping to connect you with mentors. What was your intention, and how would you suggest others share or speak up in that space?
Right. So I had an opportunity, excuse me, to talk to some women who were VPs. I saw these Black women who were VPs in these big companies. And I reached out to them. I'm like, oh my God, how did you get here? Because that's where I'm trying to get. And they said, we were found on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn and start sharing your story, your
Right.
journey, because you never know who's listening and who's watching you. And so my intention was more of a just mental health, right? Just to share my story, to release, that toxin that I was feeling of just not feeling good enough. And it just turned and warped into storytelling, became something where I turned into an advocate and started having other people reach out to me and gain the ability to meet people around the world who are doing incredible things.
Ashay. Flo, you are incredible. You are incredible. You are incredible. You are incredible. I appreciate everything that you poured, sis. Thank you so much for all that you've done. And believe it or not, y'all, let me see what day this is so y'all can mark your calendars.
You're welcome,
Um,
Sharon.
Flo, don't we do something else, Flo? Let me
Yeah,
see. I
I
don't
think
want
I have something this afternoon.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the afternoon. Yeah, so this afternoon, y'all, we're ending the day with the fireside chat between Flo and I. It'll be a very, 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 very intimate discussion on knowing what to quit. Knowing what to quit. We did not say when. We said
Right.
knowing what to quit because it's needed. So we're gonna have a fireside chat on that today at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Flo, thank you so much. I love you, sis.
Thank you.
All right.
Everyone.
You too, mama. All right, so we're going into our next session, everyone. If you don't take away anything else from what Flo said, I hope it is the power of mentorship. Get you a mentor. If you do not have one, you need one. Get you a mentor ASAP, Black woman. Okay. The next session is from Star Pryor. It is called Redefining Mompreneurship. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.